Well, welcome back to another episode of Lead or Be Led. I am your host, Al Getler, and I am happy you're with us today. You know, we're getting a lot of great reaction from the show. As I've mentioned before, we want to hear from you. We want to see you comment on our website. A few comments have told us that we are programming things that you want to see. Tell us more. We'll program more. A couple of comments about my hair. Maybe we'll get to one of those on the next show. That being said, we have a very aggressive agenda today because we want to talk about personal branding. Now, personal branding is a subject that every professional has to think about. Whether you are an employee of a company, whether you are self-employed, whether you offer a professional service, whether you are a trainer, a speaker, it doesn't matter. You have to work on your professional brand. I want to welcome back to the show our friend Hugo Amorim from Brand Pendulum, and Hugo is going to talk to us a bit more about branding. Hugo, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Al.
Well, Hugo, we have a lot to talk about with personal branding. There's a lot to do, a lot to think about. It doesn't seem to end when it comes to figuring out what your personal brand is. So we're going to get right into it. We have a bunch of slides, and we're going to bring the first one up on the screen right now, and you can take us through the branding process.
Sure. Branding is all about asking the right questions. Knowing those questions and answering them honestly will help you further understand where you need to go and what needs to be done.
Okay, and then where will we go from there? Are there more questions we have to ask ourselves?
Yes, absolutely. The next question that you have to ask is, who are you? And not in the sense of your whole life story and history, but what's your business? What's your story? What makes you compelling? How can somebody relate to you as a story?
Okay. What else would we ask?
The next question is, who is your market? And this is a broader question. It's who's your target market? Who are you selling to? A lot of entrepreneurs, they don't know who they're selling to, and they think they can sell to everyone and everything. And knowing how to answer that question is it's pivotal to kind of be successful.
So it's kind of like the old adage, you can't get somewhere if you don't know where you're going, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Good, good. Let's take a look at the next slide and see what you say about that.
Most importantly, it's what's your values? What are you bringing into the company? Is it customer service? Is it great service? Just a number of things. What are the values? What inspires you to do what you do every day?
So this is the thing that really drives you day in and day out as you run your business.
Absolutely.
Okay, what comes next?
What sets you apart? This question relates to, who are your competitors? How are you standing out in the market? It's often very important to know who else is doing what you're doing, so you can stand out and be unique in this case.
So if I'm a chiropractor, I'm a dentist, I'm a trainer, I'm a public speaker, I have to know what differentiates me from the other person.
Absolutely. You're always selling yourself, and if you're not, why are you in the business of doing what you're doing?
Okay, good. What comes next?
The next question is, what's your strength and weaknesses? This kind of goes back to what are your competitors doing that is different than what you're doing? How are you standing out, and how can you be better? Knowing the weaknesses and how to improve those weaknesses will kind of put you in a better light for your brand.
So going into the brand study really is a self-evaluation, and it's an opportunity to strengthen the strengths and also strengthen the weaknesses, right?
Absolutely. You're always looking deep down inside and trying to find out those deep questions.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's next?
So the next question is, what's your vision and your goal for the future? A lot of entrepreneurs, they start their business, they don't have a vision and a goal, but it's important to have those because knowing those questions, knowing that question in general, will kind of drive everything that you do moving forward. So it's a pivotal question to ask.
And that goes right back to your business plan as well. You know, what your goals are really right back to the business plan and where the business is heading. Take us to the next step.
What is your essence? This kind of goes down to branding. And essence could really be just one word. Are you all about simplicity? Are you about ease? Are you about customer service? Are you about the wow factor? It's just it could be one word, and that could describe everything that you do, and it's really the core and the foundation of who you are.
And you mentioned the wow factor. I am hearing that term more and more these days, that we have to add wow to everything we do. How do you get wow? I mean, everybody seems to be going after wow.
That's absolutely a great question. I think having a good customer service, really being attentive to your customers, and really trying to look professional, act professional, and be your best at everything that you do, and really make customers happy. I think that's the essential part there. If you're not making customers happy, how many repeat customers are you actually getting?
So it's getting the customer on the other side of that door after they leave and they go, wow, that was better than I expected, right?
Absolutely. So I'm going to bring this up because now you just brought up a concept here. So branding is kind of like the door that you go through an establishment. It's the face, and then what keeps coming back is really that essential core benefit of using that service. It's what you get emotionally that makes you attached to want to come back.
But if I'm an online business, I can do the same thing, right? I mean, how I interact with a website or how I interact with the exchange after I've made that purchase is all part of the wow factor as well?
Absolutely. You're always looking for opportunities to wow people, I guess.
Okay, let's take us to the next slide.
Let's look what we got. As I understand, you need a little bit of branding.
Yeah. Funny you should mention that, Hugo. I do need a little branding. My life has certainly taken off in many different directions. After 30 years as a media executive, I am out on my own. So I am looking to brand myself. Now, on the screen right now, we have a shot of a business card that I got off a popular print website. I'll just call it that to keep the attorneys happy. And this is what I ended up with. So, I mean, not a bad business card, right?
No, not entirely the worst that I've been. No, just kidding. No, it is what it is, and you kind of have to look at it. To begin with, you just want a tool to hand out to your customers, and there's a lot of contact information there, so it's good to have. But essentially, do you want to look at it from just a tool, but more importantly, do you want to look at it from a bigger point of view? So, is that business card matching your website? Are the information and all the stuff that's on your card, is it relevant? How can you make that more appealing so that people actually look at your card and go, "Hey, this is awesome." So it's all about making that connection that is really going to enhance the overall look and brand of yourself.
Okay, so let's answer that question. Does the business card match my website?
Not currently.
Okay, let's go to the next slide here and talk a bit more about that.
So as of right now, and this has changed since then, partly due to some branding. Your website has a microphone in there, and you got some shots of, lighting effect, and you got a stool there. Does this website convey leadership and laughing through leadership? Does it convey who you are? Does it talk about the core of Al Getler? So that's all about branding, I guess.
So you're going to pick on me to get us through this process, huh? Okay.
Absolutely. I'm going to be nitpicky.
All right, well, let's see the next slide, and maybe you can help me out with my brand.
These are a few things that we've done since then. We've made your name a lot clearer and bolder to understand. We used some photos of you interacting with people, so it kind of imposes a little bit of the idea of leadership in there.
Okay.
Further on, we're going to move on with some different ideas and concepts, and hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be sharpening up that brand so it's going to look stellar.
So you're saying that maybe in the next few weeks you can come back and take the audience and me through what we do with my brand? Can we get a little feedback from the audience as well?
Absolutely. That is the plan.
All right, good. Do we have more slides that we should go to?
Sure. There's one slide that it's just going to take through. So week 1 is just the initial, we're just talking about your brand here. Week 2 is about the mood board, the ideas, defining the brand a little bit more, trying to find out what you're looking for and how to look appealing as a brand. The next 2-3 weeks, week 3, we're going to talk about wisdom and functionalities of branding. Week 4, we're going to show you a final presentation of the brand. And week 5, we're going to try to get some feedback from the community.
Okay. All right. So really what I'm hearing, Hugo, is you have now carved yourself a 5-part series into this show. Is that
Absolutely.
what I'm hearing? Pretty snaky, but in the end, I'm going to end up with a stronger brand, it sounds like.
Absolutely, Al.
I'm excited about that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, after 30 years of executive experience, it's going to be nice to see what that boils down to as a personal brand. So we're going to have these slides available on the website right below the video where you can download the slides yourself and you can go through them and kind of take a look at your personal brand as well. So Hugo, in the end, when it comes to a personal brand, you talked about things like values and essence, and you mentioned an awful lot. What is it in the end that we're trying to completely package when it comes to either a brand of a company or a personal brand of an individual?
So I guess in the end, it's just about telling the story in the most effective and visually compelling way, and getting your point across, and really instilling those ideas as visual images, and having that core to back it up.
Yeah, and I noticed in your background there that you have, by the way, it's a sharp-looking background. You have the words, what is your story? And I guess what we're taking away from this with personal branding and with branding of a company is what is your story and can you tell your story? And that becomes the essence of your brand. So Hugo, we can find you at brandpendulum.com. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And if someone wanted to email you and ask you some questions about branding, where would they email you?
It would be hugo@brandpendulum.com.
All right, great. Well, Hugo, we're going to look forward to having you back for the next few weeks to talk about branding, and we're going to concentrate on my personal brand, which will be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm really looking forward to cleaning up that mess that I have for my personal brand. So with that, Hugo, thanks very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
You're welcome. Catch you soon.
Very good. Thanks. Well, folks,
Bye.
that about wraps up another episode of Lead or Be Led. Now, this personal brand journey is one that I am really looking forward to going on. I'm a big believer in branding. There are lots of national brands that do an outstanding job. Take a look at Starbucks, take a look at Staples, take a look at even a company like HubSpot that's been guests here before. There is a personal brand and a story to be told, or a company brand and a story to be told. With that, I want to remind you to comment below, either on YouTube or on my website. Tell us a bit more about what you think about this subject. Also, if you'd like to suggest a guest for this television program on the web, please email me at leadorbeled@algetler.com. And if you don't know the person personally, we will seek them out and we will find them and we'll get them on this show. So with that, have an awesome week, and we'll talk to you again real soon on Lead or Be Led.